So team, first of all, very good evening to all. So let's start with the day two. Now what I'm going to do, team. So today's agenda will be like IAM, threat detection tool, and data protection tool. So to team, like I will tell you one more thing. So what we can do, we are going to do the same thing today as well. Identity and access management. Okay. So team, that is identity and access management. So team, first of all, what is identity? So team, like we all are having identity, right? We all are having Aadhaar card, driving license, right? So this comes under identity. So like if I ask you like who are you, so what will happen? You just need to show me your identity, right? So by this way, like we are going to have like IDs for each and everyone. Then team, now second thing we are having something called as authentication. Cool team. Then we have something called as authentication. And team, what is authentication? It's I'm just asking who are you. So you are just showing me things, right? That I am this person, you have valid ID proof. So this is like a authentication, right? So what is authentication? Authentication is the process of verifying the identity. So team, like for example, if you want to just log into Gmail. So what you do, just go on the web browser, you just find Gmail, right? And you just type username and password. So here, what is username? Like I'm just typing username like Ayush. So username here is like just like a identity, right? Then team, I am having something called as password, right? So you just need to give password, like this is my password. So what will happen, team? Now this will work as a authentication. Cool team. So for this, we are having two things like username and password. So team, like this is called as SFA, right? First of all, this thing is called as SFA. Cool team. What is SFA? SFA is single factor authentication. Then team, we are having something called as MFA. So in MFA, we are having three things, right? So first thing is that something you know. Second thing is that something you have. Then we have something you are. Cool team. Third thing is that something you are. So team, like in something you have, what you are going to have, you are just having pin password pattern, right? You are having just pin, then password, then pattern. So this is your something you know, right? Sorry, something you know. Then team, we have something called as something you have. So what you're having with, you can have like certificates, right? You can have certificates, then you can have e-files, right? So team, like you're having these kind of things with you. Then something you are, it's like biometric, your thumbprint, anything, right? So this will come under MFA. Cool team. So what is MFA team? Like if you're so team, like is in this way, if you're having a MFA, what does this mean? It means that we are having we should have at least two of these. If you're having all these three things, then you are well to do. But at least you should have these two things. Second thing is that team, SFA, like MFA is more secure than SFA, but it's not that like MFA can't be hacked. Like the MFA also can be broken, but still you have more security, right? Then then team, we have something called as authorization. So team, what is authorization? See team, authorization is just designing the level of access. Like for example, if one person is just working in my organization, right? And we are having like different hierarchies. Like we are having developers, managers, right? Now, for example, I have given permission to the developer that you can just write code, okay, and you can just promote it. But from from taking it to the development to the production, it's just the thing of another team, right? That is that can be like DevOps, RCM team, right? We are having different teams to perform these tasks. Cool team. So for that we are having something called as authorization. We are just defining the level of access, what and what all things can be performed. So team, like I will tell you one more key point here. Like in authorization, we are following the principle of least privilege. Cool team. We are following the principle of least privilege. So what does this mean, team? What does this mean? It means that we will giving as much as permission to that person that he can do or she can do their work, not more than that, right? And if they're getting more than that, then what will happen? It's like a permission creep, right? Then team, we are having something called as accountability. Okay, so team, what is accountability? It's just like you're having logs, right? So now, for example, I have given just my account access to one of my person, like you only, like one of someone from you, like you can do anything in my account, right? I am given access to you. What might happens that I have given you for like particular application, and what you have done, you have made changes in other application also. So right, so what I can do next day, I can ask, right, why you have done this, like why you have deleted my data, all these things. So for that thing, you will be accountable. Okay, so you can't deny that I have not done it. So for that purpose, we are having accountability. So team like IAM is all about triple A. Cool team, right? Then team, now what we are going to do, like we are just going to start with the IAM, right? Then we are having something called as IAM. So team, first of all, what is IAM? So team, IAM is like an identity and access management, is a AWS service that enables you to provide fine-grained access control to interact with AWS resources on behalf of your account and resources. So team, what does this mean? It means that team, we are having something called as users and groups that we will discuss in upcoming slides. Okay. So first thing that we are having something called as users. Users means that I am just creating a user in my account, and they will be having their separate credentials, and they will be able to do interact on my account, right? So what is these services and resources? The services are like EC2, S3. Resources are instances, buckets, all these things, right? So team, like I am giving like fine grained access. It means that I am just allowing you with the like fine grained means like precise access, like you can do this only, and on basis of that you can interact with my services and resources. So team, don't worry, I will just show you practical for this, a live practical. Okay, so how I am just going to give fine grained access, all these things. Cool team. Then team, it is a web service that allows you to control individual access and group access. I will show you that as well. Okay, today I will show you like how to write JSON policies. Okay, I will just show you, don't worry team. Then we have something like IAM can be used to control who can use your AWS resources. Okay, authentication and authorization we have already discussed. So same way here, we are also having that we are just having authentication. It means that whenever I'm creating a user in my account, these users will be having separate username and password. So using this, they can log in into my account. Cool team. Then second thing is that authorization. Authorization means that I am giving them a particular permission, right? So these permissions will be called as policies in AWS. Then team, I can create and manage user identities and grant permission. Okay, that we have discussed. Now team, this is IAM users. What are IAM users? So team, first thing is that IAM users are not separate accounts. They are users within your account. So each user can have its own password for access to the AWS Management Console. Cool team. They are not separate accounts. You are just creating a users in your account, right? It's like in your organization, like you are having Active Directory, all these kind of things. You can do, yeah, all these things here also. You can just deploy the Active Directory also. So cool team. Then it's represent the person or the service. Okay, it means that now, for example, team, in my organization, right? Okay, I'm just having a startup. Okay, so like for example, I'm having a startup. I am having like different users. Okay, so this is my organization. So I what I can do, I can just create a user, right? So users can be like I'm having a team of 4 person. So I can give like Sam. Okay, John. Okay, Tom, right? So I'm having these kind of develop, like these are my developers. So I can just create their account in my AWS in my IAM, and they can also use my services and resources in the same account team. And I will be providing with the username and password. And I will show you like how we can create users. And I can just assign them like these two are my developers. So I can create a group like we are doing in like Telegram or WhatsApp. We are creating a group, and then we are just exchanging information, right? So same way we can just say create a group and give them permissions, right? So team, then we have something called as groups. So IAM users can be organized into IAM groups and attach policies to a group. Okay, so user assume the permission of the group. So what will happen, like if a user is attached to a group, so user will user will be having its own permission as well as group permission. Cool team. Then I've already told you like individual users will have their own credentials. And team, like groups cannot be nested. Cool team, groups cannot be nested. It means that one group cannot be created inside another group, right? So we have like separate groups, and team, like a single person can be a member of different groups as well. Like I have a person like a manager, okay, then he can be the member of like developer, tester, and he can do all these things, right? Then we have like we can by default in AWS we are having 100 groups per account. But team, if you need more, then what you need to do, you just need to contact to your AWS support person, support team, and they will help you out. Now team, I'm just going to show you like how we can create IAM users in our account. So team, this is my AWS account, right? So this is my account. For this, we need to use a service that is called as IAM. So open this service. Okay team, now I will show you like how you can create a user. So click here users, okay. So right now I'm not having any user, so I can create a user here, okay. Add user. You can create a single user at a time, or what I can do, I can create multiple users, right? So first of all, I am creating a user uh, with the name Sam, right? Then I am creating another person with the group name, with a username that is John, right? Then team, here we can, I can just have them like with the two things, that is access keys that I've already told you. Then we have something called as password. So there are like two ways we can give password. So first of all, I'm just providing password. So team, like what we can do, I can just provide them with auto generated password and custom password, right team? So it's my choice that what I'm going to do, okay. So if you wants to do, and there you can, there also you will be getting an option, right? Whenever this person sign in for the first time, he or she might be required to change their password. So team, for now what I'm going to do, I'm just going with the I'm just going with the custom password, right? So I'm just creating a custom password here. You can just create auto generated password as well, right? So I'm just creating a custom password. Then next, permission. So team, we can leave permission for now. I will show you like how to create a JSON, how to write a JSON policy, right? I will show you like how can you write a JSON code. Cool team. A small code, like you can do anything with that. Okay. Then next tags. Okay. Then team, like these are optional. I'm looking for this, but as per organizational purpose, these are really important for you. So team, this time it is showing me that users have no permission. No worries. Create users. Cool team. So my users has been created. Then close. Then I can see like where my users has been created. Nested means like in group inside a group. Like for example, I am having a group that is called as developer. Okay. Right. Now inside developer, I cannot create a group like a for Java persons, for like .NET person, right? Now if what I can do, I can just delete this group and I can have like group like Java developer, .NET developer, right? So in this way, I can't have group inside group. Clear? Now team, like I've created these two users. Now I will show you like how you can create group. Okay. So this is my group has been created. So first I am deleting this. So I will show you like how to create a group. Okay. So now I'm just going to create a group. Okay. So for that, what you need to do, team, you just need to click here, create group. Okay. Then you can just write a group name here, that is, just now I'm just typing tester. Okay. Then team, again you can just attach permissions. Okay, these are my permission, these are the policies that are written by me. Okay, so for now I'm just not giving any permission. Okay, I am just creating as a create group. Cool team. Now you can attach users here, right? So for that you just click here, and you can click add users, right? These two are my users for this group. Cool team. So by this way we can have like users and groups. Cool team. Now team, I am just going to discuss like a really important thing that is called as policies. So team, what is policy? Okay. So team, what is policy? I will tell you one thing, like policies are really important. Okay. Policies are the piece of JSON code. Okay. Or you can for now just consider policies like a permission. Okay. So if you want to give permission, you just need to have a policy. So you need to, sometimes like we are having AWS policies as well, and we can just write permission on the basis of ourselves. Now, like what is policies? The basic basic tool for granting permission in IAM is the policy. Okay, so policy is a document that defines one or more permissions. Okay, then team, by default user can't access anything in your account. So team, like this time when I have created a user and I have not attached any policies, so they won't be able to do anything. And this thing we called in AWS, that is called as deny by default. It means that whenever you are creating anything, it will be denied by default. And if you want to give access, then you just need to give them, right, permission. Then only that person can do anything on that account. Cool team. Now like we can grant permission through policies. Then we are having three things, that is effect, action, resources. Team, forget this about now. I will just show you when I will be just showing you how to create a JSON policy. Okay, so team, like any action resources that are not explicitly allowed are called deny by default. I have already told you. Then what team? These policies are global. These are not based on like any what we call regional. They are not divided on regions. These policies are global, and actually this IAM service is also a global. This is a global service. I will show you how. Then team, you can attach IAM policies to users, groups, and roles. Team, roles are just like if you want to interact with one service to another service, so you just don't need to give credentials. You just need to assign role, right? So roles are these things. Then team, like for policies we are having this logic. Cool team. For policies we are having this logic. So what will happen team? How this logic will work: first, like our decision starts at deny. It means that whenever you created a user or a group, so it will be not having any permission. Then team, what will happen? Like you have to evaluate all the applicable policies, right? If you are having all the policies, then like you have like some deny policies, some allow policies. Then team, it will be first checking for the explicit deny. It means that if you have denied something, then that person will not be allowed to use that service. Cool team. If it's allowed, then allow. And if you have not done anything, then by default it will be deny only. Cool team. So this is the logic behind that. So team, let me tell you one important thing. Like what is a permission, right? So like for example, okay, so you have like allow S3 access. Cool team. And you have plus deny S3 uh, Ayush bucket. Okay, this is the bucket of my name, Ayush bucket. So what will happen, team? Like first of all, this bucket will be denied. Okay, so now if my user, and I have attached this permission to this user, so Sam will not be able to access my this S3 bucket. But team, what will happen? He can allow, like we are having all S3 access, right? So team, like he, like by default, like it will be like he is not having any by this logic, pollution evil logic. It means that S3 will be deny, right? First of all, they will be checking deny policy, like deny S3 Ayush bucket. So this person will not be able to access this bucket, but this person can access other resources, right? Other buckets. So by this way, these policies are working. Cool team. So policies are really important. Now team, I will show you like how to write your first policy or basic policy, right? So this is really easy. For that team, what you need to do, okay? So first thing is that your policy, okay? So first thing is that what is a policy? That is just a piece of JSON code, okay? Just a piece of JSON code. And what is JSON? JSON is JavaScript object notation, right? So we are using this. So you, how can you write a policy? Okay, I will show you. Like team, this is really important focus here. Then using this, like if you know the syntax, you can just write any policies on your own. Okay, so how can you write your policy? Then team, how you can write your policy? So for that, first of all, your policy start with a curly braces. Cool team. So for that, we need something called as curly braces. Then team, first thing that we need to type is version. Okay. So first thing we need to type is version. So team, what is version? Team, this will remain the same for every policy you are writing. This is not the policy version. This is the code version. Okay, team. So what is code version, team? Right? So what is code version? It means that when this code was written. So where we are having two version, I will show you, right? So then what you need to do? You just need to give version ID. So we will be using version ID, that is 2010 70. And team, this will be uh, same for each and everything, right? So if you're writing any policy, this line will remain same for everyone. Cool team. Then team, we are having something called as statement. Okay, so this is my, like I've already told you, like in a statement we will be having three things, that is effect, action, resources. Now I will explain you like what is this. So first of all, you need to type statement. Statement is nothing, you are just defining what all things you are going to do. So this is a statement. Okay, then team, here you just need to give three things that I told you. Okay, first one is effect. Okay, first one is effect. So what will be the effect? Okay, so effect means whether this policy is going to be allow or deny, right team? So first of all, you will be just telling like whether this policy is going to be allow or deny. Then team, second thing is action. You are defining action on what? Okay, action on what? So I am just giving EC2. Okay, I am just giving EC2. Okay, EC2 is a service team, I will show you like. Okay, so EC2, and this means full access. This person will be able to do anything in the EC2. Then what are resources team? Then last we have something called as resources. Okay, so team, what is resource? Resource means, like I've already told you, there is a slight difference between a service and resource. Service are like EC2, right? Then resources are instances, like S3 is a service, and inside that bucket and objects are resources. Cool team. Then close this one as well. Now team, you can see that like this code is not looking good, right? I know that this code is looking pathetic. So now how can you just make, okay, so team, version, first of all we need to just see that. Okay, so this is my version, this is my statement. Okay, all these three things I'm here. Okay, so team, now I know that this code is not looking good, right? So for that, what I can do, okay, so for this I need to just beautify this code, right? So for that, what I can do, okay, so for this what I need to do, I just need to type here JSON formatter. Okay, so you can use this JSON formatter just to make your code beautiful. See, now your code has like proper spacing, and now you can use this code. Cool team. Okay, now team, how can you create permission, right? Now you know like how I can write a code, JSON code. Now you know how to write a JSON code, and what this code will do, this code will allow all action on EC2. So how this is going to be working? So first thing, you need to just go here, policies, right? Just go here, policy, type here create policy. Okay, then team, like there are like two options. This is like automated option, you can do it. You can select like your service from here, but I will recommend you don't do this. But otherwise you will be having like you can give like you can just have a problem of permission creep, right? You can give other permission as well because they are doing in the backend. So for this, now paste it here. Cool team. There is one error. Okay, so team, like this is not valid because I have just written wrong. Okay, so you just need to type here 2012, right? So by this way, if you have any error in your policy, this will be mentioned here, right? So I've already told you you can use only two versions, that is 2008 and 2012. So that's why deliberately I have just made mistake. So now I just need to add 12. Now my this thing is good to go. Cool team. Then next tags, this is our optional, I am just leaving for now. Review. Now team, you just need to give a name of your policy. So I am giving a policy name like uh, EC2 November. Okay, because I'm in a lot of policies, so I'm just giving okay, and I'm just giving like this will allow all EC2 users. Cool team. You just need to create this policy. For that, click here. Your policy has been created. Cool team. You can just write anything on like description. Okay. Now team, you just need to find your policy here. Okay. So where my policy is there. Okay, if you know you are not able to find here, so you can just type here EC2. Okay, but in with the name EC2 you will be having lots of policy. Okay, so first of all, like these are the policy that was created by me. So team, this is my policy, right? So if you want to attach any policy, attach this policy, or if you want to give permission for like any users to have like all the access to your EC2, you just need to select this policy, click on action and attach. Cool team. Now what you need to do, okay, you just need to select the users. Like I am having two users, so I am just giving this thing to Sam, right? I am just giving permission to this Sam. Now I'm just going to attach policy. Now team, I will show you like how you can access things, right? From the user's perspective, like how you're creating users here. Now how you can do it. Cool team. Then team, what you need to do, how you can log in. Like now I will tell you like two things, okay? So how you can log in to your user account. So for entering your user account, you just need to have this URL, or you can use this name, okay? Account alias, okay? So you just need to have like another browser, otherwise you will not be able to. So paste this here. Cool team. Now team, you just need to give a name of your user. I'm giving John. First of all, I will show you like he will not be having any permission, okay? So I just want to access John's account, okay? So by this way, you can create several users and they can access in your account, right? The resources and services. So now team, I have just entered as a John, okay? See, can you see here, like this is a I am user John, not root account. This is not my root account. This is from here, okay? Now team, if this person want to access EC2, what will happen? Okay, see, it is having all the errors, right? It is having lots of error, like you are not authorized to perform this. But when you will log in, okay, when you are going to log in as a John, then see what will happen. Okay, so I'm just giving alias name. So this is my alias name. So this is my username. Cool team. Now team, after that we are going to study lot of stuff on security. So we are having like lots of important services that we are going to discuss. Okay. Now team, okay, I think I have given wrong password. Just give me a second. Okay. Now team, I'm just entering as a John. Okay. Now if he wants to access EC2, see how easily he can do it. Okay. Okay, sorry, I entered as a John. I just need to enter as a Sam. Just give me a second, team. Sign into the console. Just give alias name Cloud Ninja Sam. Password and sign in. Cool team. See now if I want to access this account, just click here EC2. You can access service from here as well. See now this person can perform any action in my account. Okay, on behalf of me. It's not my root account. It's an user account. Cool team. So by this way, you can create users, you can create groups, and you can assign them policies. Cool team. So this is all about EC2, like this is all about IAM, right? Now team, we are having lots of permission as well in IAM. I will show you like I have created lots of policies. Like you can have IP policies, okay? Uh, See, this is my source IP. So team, what this IP will do, I will tell you, okay? What this IP will do. So team, like if you're having like if my user is just trying to access from this IP only, then only he will be able to do anything in my account. Otherwise, all these things will be restricted. Cool team. So this is IAM. Right now team, we have like something to discuss like data protection. It's really important team. Now I will show you like KMS HMS things. This is really important topic team, like data protection. Like we are working in an organization, so data is really important. Like we all are working in an organization, okay? So we know that in IT world, okay, data is the most important thing, right? Our clients data is really important. So team, like we are going for a multi-tenant platform, that is cloud. Okay, so what is our concern? Our concern is like information security, unauthorized access, data deletion, data security, accidental delete of data, modification of data. Cool team. So by this we were having lot of stuff, okay? So team, for this what we are going to do, we are just going to protect our data. So like there are like some methodologies we are just using for protecting our data, that is replication, access control, right? Now team, I am going to show you like how to protect our data. Okay, so team, like for data we have three stages. Okay, for data we have three stages. first one is first one is data in transit. Okay, data in what we are having, this is our data in transit or motion. It means that our data is moving right now. Then team, like we are having another state, that is data in use. Okay, data at rest, sorry, data at rest. And then we are having something called as data in use. Okay, so team, like we are having like lot of things. Okay, so team, like to protect these two we are having lot of things, but to protect this we are having very less things. And like to protect data in use is really hard. Like for example, I am using this uh, data right now, right? I am having this my notepad file and I'm using this data. So team, okay, so it's really important, like it's really difficult for me to just do all these things, right? Like to protect. Now I can't do any encryption, I can't do any hashing, all these things, right? To protect my data, like when it is in use. But still we have some things, okay, but still we very less thing we are having. So like what are roles? Okay, so Kumar, like roles are something like I've shown you like how to use a user, right? Like you are just creating a users, and you are able to just access my account. But roles are users. Okay, just consider, okay, let me explain what are roles. Team, like roles are users only. Okay, these are similar to users, but in users, can you see that like we are just using a username and password, right? We need to log in. But team, we can use roles. Like for example, okay, I am going to my EC2. Team, like roles are really like really confusing topic. Okay, so what are roles, I will tell you now. Team, like this is my instance right now running. Okay, I have just opened my this instance. Team, like can you see that this is the monitoring part, right? So team, this is done by whom? This is done by like another service, that is CloudWatch, right? So how CloudWatch is able to access another service? So for accessing another service we are having something called as roles, right? So for roles like a users, you need to attach permission same way. Okay, so if I just want to, like if you want to access manually or like one service, like for other service, okay, so what you need, you just need to create a role and assign permission same as users. Okay, but there is a slightly difference between user and role. In users we are having hardcode credentials, but for roles, like if my CloudWatch wants to access EC2, so what will happen, role will provide these temporary credentials to the EC2. Okay, and these credentials will last for like 2 3 hours. Okay, and there is like another service that is called as STS, that you can't see here. This service is backend service, right? So this service will help to provide uh, temporary credentials. Cool team. So these are roles. Roles are just similar to users, and we are just using roles to access like one service to another. Cool. Now team, we are having like three parts in our data, like data in transit, data in at rest, and data in use. Cool team. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to explain you like little bit about them. Like I'm not going to deep dive in this one, but still I will tell you like what is like really important things in that. Cool team. So first thing is that, okay, so team, like first thing is that, okay, we are having something called as encryption in flight. Okay, for this we are just going for like data in transit. So I will just explaining the scenario in this way. Okay, so I'm just going to picturize things for you. So just let me open paint. Okay, so team, what we are doing, okay, so team, what we are doing, like we are having like encryption, right? So now if my data is like in a motion, so what I need to do, I just need to encrypt it, right? So like team, like when we want to encrypt at flight, so because I want to like if I want to send a very sensitive secrets, like for example I'm having my credit card. Okay, so if I want to send my like credit card to a server, like if I want to make a payment, then I really don't want that that packet is to be like encrypted, right? be just visible to someone else, right? So for that purpose, like whenever my information is moving in a web from one place to another, like from client to the servers, I really don't want that anyone will be able to just uh, take out from the internet, right? So this is really important, right? Your credit card details are really important. So like for that purpose, we are having something called as encryption in flight. Cool, team. So for that we are using something called as like https, right? So we are having something called as https, like for example, okay, so let me show you like what is https, okay. Okay, this is a secure, okay, this is a secure website, and you can just your data is all encrypted at a transit, right? So you are using https for like when you want to encrypt your data in flight. Cool, team. Then this data will be encrypted before I sent it, okay. Then the server will be decrypting it, and after receiving it, but only I and servers knows how to do it. Like if there is someone in a between, like attacker, if he tries to access my data, but still he will not be able to do anything, right? Because my data is encrypted, right? Then team, we are having something called as SSL certificate, okay. So that I've told you, like we are having SSL certificate, okay. So to help me with the encryption. So like another way to see it, like we are having HTTPS. So anytime if we are dealing with the Amazon service, it had an HTTP endpoints, right? So that guaranteed us that it was encryption in a flight. Cool, team. So team, like when we enable this, so you are protected from a very popular or well-known attack that is called as man in the middle. Okay, so there is an attack in cyber world that is called as man in the middle attack. So if we are using this encryption technique, then we are safe from the man in the middle attack. So team, how things are working here? Like for example, this is me. Okay, for example, this is me, okay, and this is my super secret data. Cool, team. This is my super secret data. It can be anything, right? It can be username, okay. Anything, I'm just giving Ayush. And then you are having something called as password, okay. Then team, in password you are having these things, right? Now if you're just sending over the internet, it's risky, right? So for that we are having something called as SSL, right? So we will be, what we'll be doing, we will be first encrypting our data, right? So we are just encrypting our data. Cool, team. So first of all, we will be encrypting our data. Then team, okay, then we are having something called like this is my AWS, right? I want to log in. So for that, I just need to set username and password. So what will happen? Like my these things are encrypted, okay, with the SSL. Now, team, this encrypted data will be traveling, right? This data, encrypting data, will be traveling over the net, and then what will happen when it will reach to the AWS server? It will be first decrypted, okay. First of all, it will be decrypted, then it will be used. Cool, team. So by this way, we are working here. In this way, things will be working here, okay. Then I will be having these things like username and password. Cool, team. Now again, this will be available here in this way. So team, like first of all, I'm having my credential, like critical data. We are just encrypting this using SSL. Then we are just using this over the, like we are just traveling over the public network. Then it will be just first decrypted by the AWS. Then it will be used, right? So this is the encryption in flight. Now team, there is like called a server side encryption, okay. So team, now second thing is like server side encryption. So that is like when data is encrypted after being received by the server. So before that, server was receiving data, right, decrypting and then using it. But this time data is encrypted after being received by the server, okay. I will tell you what will happen. Like here first we were decrypting data, then we were sending it, then it was decrypting. But what will happen, team, here I will show you another thing, okay. So for this, first of all, we will be having something called as our this is my data, right? Then it will be travel. This is my data. This is AWS. Cool, team. This is server side encryption, team. So server side encryption at rest. Okay, so this is my data. It will be moving over the HTTPS. Okay, then team, what will be happening? Then this will be my data again, right? Then I will be just encrypting it. Okay, like for example, I am doing encryption. Okay, then what I will be having a result of this, right? In this manner, my data has been encrypted. Then team, what will happen if I have key? Now, if you want to access it, like what will happen? I just need to decrypt it first. Okay, now I will be decrypting it. For example, now this will be my data after decrypting it. Then it will be sent over the internet, right? Now again, end user will be able to get their data. So in this way, team, we are having something called it server side encryption as trust. Cool, team. Then team, we are having something called as client side encryption. So team, what we are doing in a client side encryption. So team, in client side encryption, okay. So team, in client side encryption, data is encrypted by the client. That is us. Okay. Client is us and never encrypted by the server. Now, for example, this is us, right? This is my data. Okay. This is my encryption thing. Okay. I'm just using like this is my data key. I'm using data key to encrypt it. Now my data has been encrypted, right? Now this my data has been encrypted. Now team, my data will be sent to the AWS or the server or the site we are using. Okay, this will be sent. Now team, in AWS, like if I am putting in AWS S3, so what will happen? This will be remained in this format, right? Now team, whenever I want to access this data, what will happen? This data will be sent back to me. Okay, now after like few days I want to access the data, this data will be sent to me. Okay, then what will happen? I am having an encrypted form, right? So this is my encrypted form, right? Data is my encrypted form. Then what I need to do, I just need to show my encryption key. This is my encryption key, and then finally team, I will be able to access my data. So team, the best thing is that server should not be able to decrypt the data, team, right? So the best thing that you should have in this is that the server should not be able to decrypt the data. Cool, team. So by this way we are having these methods, right? Then we are having, okay, so these are the things we are having. Then team, we are having something called as, okay, so for example team, like we have done all these things. Okay? These were all about thing. Now team, like if you're working in an organization, right? Okay, so we are having, like in this process we are having three things. Okay, in this process we are having three things. First one is data, then there is encryption algorithm, right? First thing that we are having, that is data. Then we are having encryption algorithm, right? This is my encryption algo. Then team, we are having something called as data key. In this process we are having three things. Okay, so first thing is our data that we want to protect. Then there is algorithm. There are lots of algorithm, AES, triple DES, right? Okay, we are having lots of algorithm. Then we are having data key, or we can call it as a key file, right? Okay, we can call it as a key file as well. Okay, so team, now for example, I will give you example for this. Okay, this is like for example, now I am having a data. My data is A, B, C, D, E, okay, E, then F. Now team, what I am doing, I am just having algorithm, right? I am just having like this one, right? I am just having all these things. Okay, for I am just using all these things for like hash for C, right? For D I am using and, then I am using percentage for this, then I am using this thing, right? So I am using these things like for this. Now team, I am sending it over the data, like over the internet. Now team, like if you're not having a data key, okay, now team, if like for now I just want to write bad. So for bad I am just writing BAD. Now team, if I send you this, will you able to know like what has written in my what was in my data, that file? No, right? If I am sending you this, okay, you are not having all these things. Okay, you are not having all these things. I am just sending you this. So what will happen? You will not be able to access, right? So team, for this we need, that is called a key file. This is the key file. Okay, so this is the key file that we need. Okay, in which we have like mapping, like for what we have, what for what thing we have mentioned what. right? So if you don't have a key file, you won't be able to access this data. So team, like whenever we are working or when we are just trying to protect our data, so if my these two things are compromised, okay, like this was a basic example, right? Now team, like encryptions are of two type, okay, like encryptions are of two type. So like for this we are having something called as like symmetric and asymmetric. So team, like what is symmetric? In symmetric we are having only same key file, right? In symmetric we are having a same key file to encrypt and decrypt. Cool team. Like in symmetric we'll be having the same key file to encrypt and decrypt. Then team, second thing we are having something called a asymmetric, okay? So in asymmetric we will be having two things, that is public, second thing is private key, okay? We will be having two things, okay, public and private key. Now team, okay, now team, for example, where we are using this public and private key in my account, okay, we are using it here, okay, in EC2. I will show you, like, okay, this asymmetric key we are using in our EC2, okay. So whenever you are just having like if whenever you're just creating EC2 instance, then they will be giving you just one private key and one public key, right? Cool team. Now team, like we have a challenge, right? Okay, so we have a challenge to protect this key file. So team, for this we are having lot of things, okay, like for key file we are having two things, like software managed key management, okay. We are having something called as software based key management, okay. Give me a second team. First we are having software based key management, then team we are having hardware based key management. Team, what will happen? Team, like if you are using software based key management, it can be just compromised, right? Because it's a software based. Then team, we are having something called a hardware based, right? So it means we are just storing our key files somewhere in a hardware. Cool team. So we are just keeping these files somewhere in the hardware. So for that we are having option that is called as HMS. Okay, we are having something called as HMS, so we are using this HMS. So team, like if you're working in an organization and you are working with a very top entities in the world, like federal, US federal or defense, then they will be asking you for the something called as standard, that is IFIPS 140. Okay, 140, like it can be like level 2 level 3, okay. So they will be asking you for this. So for this purpose you should have like HMS, right? So for this we are having something called as HMS, okay. Just type HMS vendor, this is images, okay. So team, like we are having these type of HMS vendors, right? So team, like what is HMS now? So team, HMS may have features that provide tamper evidence, right? This is a physical hardware that will provide you tamper uh, evidences such as visible signs of temporary login or altering, right? Like they are special devices which safeguards and manage digital keys for strong authentication. Then team, these devices are tamper resistant. That means that if anyone tries to tamper this, they will be automatically deleted, okay. Your keys will automatically deleted, right team? Then we are having like some disadvantage with that, that is costly. If you're just going to deploy this in your on premises, like you have to pay lakhs of rupees, right team? Then you have to buy, like you can't use only one HSM, like you need another one for the backup, okay, for removing single point failure. Then again you have to pay for it. Cool team. So by this way we are having some disadvantages if you are just buying hardware. Cool team. Now team, we are having something called as HMS, and this will be used in, like if you want to go for, if you don't want to pay for lakh of rupees, just go for AWS HMS. Okay, we are having a service that is called as AWS Cloud HMS, right? So team, what will happen now? You might ask me a question, right? So like, will be getting hardware? Yes, you will be getting hardware, right? You will be getting hardware. See, FIPS 142 level 2 level 3. This will be uh, standards, or these will be certification provided to you. Cool team, right? So by this way, like you don't need to deploy this HMS, that hardware in your on premises. You can just go for cloud HMS. Okay. Now team, right? Now your like your standards or your these things are fulfilled as well, right? Now team, like what are the advantages you are going with if you are going with cloud HMS team? The advantage is that HMS is single tenant, okay? Like it must be like if we can integrate cloud HMS with any application, okay? Third thing is that for fault tolerance, right? Then we are having like AWS use SafeNet, like AWS will be using SafeNet Noon HMS. Okay. Then the most important thing is that they will be having FIPS validated. Cool team. Now if like in AWS we are having HMS in this way. Okay. Like HMS will be providing you. Okay. So HMS will be having like two partitions. First one will be managed by AWS. Okay, this is a one complete hardware. This is broken into two, and this part will be managed by AWS for health benefits. And here your keys will be saved, right? Your keys. So team like AWS don't have access to this part, right? They will be only using this part for health thing. Cool team. Now team, what are the drawbacks? What are the drawbacks of cloud HMS? So drawbacks of cloud HMS are like additional complexity, not fault tolerant. Okay, we need to have at least two cloud HMS. Now we have to pay for it. Then no SLA, and team like cost is very high. Cool team, we need to pay very high cost for this. So team, to resolve this issue, we are having something called as KMS, right? Try to resolve this, we are having something called as KMS, AWS KMS. So team, what is AWS KMS? Team, KMS is just like you can just consider like KMS is just a copy of HMS, but there is a slight difference. So what is the slight difference, team? The slight difference is that in HMS you are having a dedicated hardware, but in KMS you will be having like shared hardware, right? It means you will be having multi-tenant, and by using multi-tenant you are just reducing the cost. Cool team. So by this way you are just reducing the cost. So you are just using KMS just to reduce the cost. Now team, like most of the people have confusion, right? If you are using shared like if you're having a multi-tenant, so what will happen? Like how we can just have like FIPS team, like for FIPS they are not telling you like you should have like shared or unshared, right? They are just telling you you should have like hardware for this. So for this purpose we are using KMS. Okay, so team, like KMS make it easy for you to create and control the encryption key, okay, used to encrypt your data, and use HMS to protect key, right? KMS will make easy for you to create and control encryption key, and in the backend they are using HMS, right? So in HMS they will be just using the shared tnet. Cool team. Now like it does not have any upfront cost, and like you need to pay like what all things you are using, right? So like it is much more cheaper than HMS. Cool team. Then like KMS is integrated with AWS CloudTrail. I will show you like team what is CloudTrail. So KMS is integrated with CloudTrail. Okay. So when it is integrated with CloudTrail, okay, so it will just provide you with the logs and key file like key uses. Okay, so you will be having like API logs. Okay, for this you can just check everything. Cool team. Now team, KMS, and one more important thing, like KMS is fully integrated with IAM for authorization. Okay, so this will make easy to control access to your data. Cool team. Now let me show you an example for this. Okay, I have a demo, or what I can say, I have a lab for this. So team, like first of all I will be having like two users for this. Okay, so I'm having two users for this. Okay, I've already created, so that's why I've created that users. Now team, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to remove permissions from them, and by this way you will also know that how we can just revoke permissions. Cool team. So I'm just going to IAM. Okay, so I'm just going to revoke that permission, and team, I will just show you demo like how can you use KMS in AWS. It's really important, and I will just compare you one more thing. So just wait for that. And team, like we are having lots of things to cover. We are having like WAF Shield. Okay, so we will cover that as well after this. So this is my John, right? Okay. So okay, so what I can do, team, now I'm just wants to give these two person like with a permission that is called as S3 full access. So how can I give it? Like for S3 access, I just wanna like give inline permission only. Okay, I'm just going to add one-on-one. So I'm just going to show you like how can I add one-on-one permission. For that, click on add permission, team. If you like S3 full access is already created policies. Okay, so you just need to type S3. Okay, this is my S3 full access. It means that now my user John will able to access each and everything in S3. Now team, I am having like another user. Okay, I'm just going to give them like similar permission. Just select this, open this. Okay, so team, I am showing you like different ways to add permission, right? So I've shown you like first way, in that you can attach policy from the dashboard only, and this is the inline permission. It means if you want to give one-to-one permission. Inline permissions are one-to-one permission. So I'm just selecting this. Now my both the users will be able to access S3. Cool, team. So this is my permission with that. If I want to revoke this, how can I do it? Just cross this, detach. Now my this both these persons will be having this similar access, right? Now team, what I'm going to do, now I'm going to show you how to create a KMS key. Okay, so for that you just need to go AWS KMS. Okay, just type KMS, team. This is my key management service. I'm just going to open that. Just wait for a minute, team. Okay, so team, first of all, I am having three type of keys here. First one is AWS managed keys. So team, these keys are given by AWS. See, AWS S3, it means that this will be used with S3. This is EBS. So this key will be used with EBS. So these keys are free of cost. You can use them. Then team, these are like customer managed keys. So these keys are just built by me, or these are created by me, but they are in deletion. So I will show you like how I can create a key. Then team, like custom key store, it is just a HMS. Okay, it's just HMS. So if you want to use HMS from here, so you can use this. Cool, team. If you want to access HMS, you just see create a AWS HMS cluster. Okay, so I'm having three types of things. First one is AWS managed keys, then I am having customer managed keys, and I will show you difference between both of these. Don't worry, team. Now what I'm going to do, team, I'm just going to show you how to create a key. So first of all, in key, I am having two things. I already explained you symmetric and asymmetric, right? So in symmetric, we'll be having a single key for encryption and description, and then I will be having a symmetric key for public and private. Cool, team. Then I am using like encrypt and decrypt, and this is for like hashing purpose. So we are not going to use this. We are going to use for encrypt and decrypt only. Okay. So if you want to go for hash-based message authentication, then you can go for this. Team, like there's a question asked by someone. Okay, so like AWS default key deleted, how can we recover? So first of all, team, I will show you like how can you delete key, and how like if like your key has been deleted, then your data is gone. There is nothing, but there is no default key deletion. You can't change that keys that are managed by AWS, right? Cool, team. If you have AWS managed keys, you won't be able to delete it. Then if you have your own customized key, for this also they have a deletion policy. I will tell you like how can you delete. Okay, so I will tell you. Now team, I am having three options. Advanced option. Team, this is KMS. It means that you will be using KMS based keys. Okay, it means that you can use AWS managed key, like there will be key like you will be creating using KMS. Then if you have a key material, okay team, first of all I will tell you what is key material, otherwise you will be confused. So team, what is key material? Team, this is my notepad, right? So what is the material inside this? This is the material, right? Now if you want to access, like if you want to ask like Ayush, we want this data, we want this notepad. So you don't want like empty notepad, right? You want these things. So these things are called material, okay? So these are the like key material. So either you can use KMS key material that is already available. Then you have like key material like external. If you want to, you have like if you have external key material, you can bring it here. Then this is custom key store. This is again if you want to use HMS. Okay. So team, then we have like regionability. Then we are having two things like single region key and multi-region key. Cool team. We are having two things, that is single region key. Then we are having multi-region key. So team, like if you want to span your key over multi-region, then you can use this. But for because these things are chargeable, so I will be going for single region key. Then click on next. Team, what is alias? If I want to give my key name, then I just need to type here my key name. Though alias is nothing but it's just a key name. Okay. So I'm just typing here November key. Then you just need to type here demo key. You just need to type any description, but if you're working in an organization, I will tell you just please give proper names, proper description, and use tags as well. Otherwise you will be in a great trouble, right? Then team, just click on next. Now team, this is the really important thing. Okay. So team, first thing is like call as define key administrative permission. So team, what is define key permission? Okay, administrative permission. Team, it means that this person only will be able to give permissions to other users. Now, like I am having 20 users, right? Now I am just making like Mahesh as my key administrator. Then Mahesh will only be able to give permission to you guys, right? But there is a catch, like Mahesh will not be able to use that key. Okay, he will only be able to just manage key, like he can just give access, like who can use all these key, right? Then team, what I can do, okay, then I need to select here. So what I'm going to select, I'm just going to select John. For example, I'm going for the John. Then click on next. Now team, define key uses permission. These two things are really important team. Now I am just defining who all can use this key, who all person can use this key. Okay, now I have just given this permission to Mahesh. Now Mahesh can give any permission to Chaitanya, he can give to Kumar, he can give to Vijay, like he can give permission to whoever he wants, right? So what I'm going to do, I am not going to give permission to other user because I want to show you something, right? So I am just going to give this permission to John as well. Okay, now click on next. Now team, this way, like this policy has been created. Now can you see that like some amount of like some amount of details you are well versed, like action, right? Effect, right? So I think you are well versed with all these things. Cool team. Now team, what you need to do, okay, you just don't need to do anything. You just need to click on finish, and these policies are automatically created by KMS. If you wants to just make edit like edit on this, if you wants to have your own policy, now you are, I know you can just type your own policy. So for this, now click on finish. Okay, so now team, my key has been created. Okay, so I just need to check. Okay, remember this like E92. Okay, now team, I'm just going to show you a demo, like really important. Now I'm just going to my S3 bucket. Now team, I am having lots of bucket here. Okay, so this is like another concept. Okay, so this is a bucket. Team, let me tell you, S3 is nothing but S3 is a storage. Okay, so team, S3 is just like you are having hard disk in your home, but S3 is like similar to like S3, I can basically compare it with Google Drive, right? So S3 is just like a Google Drive, but it is having massive storage. You can store jillion trillions any amount of data, and you are having security credentials, right? In Google Drive, I know that you are not having any security credentials, right? You can't do encryption and you can't do anything, all these things, right? So there are like predefined, like pre-signed URLs, like there are a lot of things that you can do using S3, right? So team, like I am having lots of bucket. So for this I am using, like this is my bucket. Okay, so this is simply a bucket. Now team, I am deleting this like for lab purpose, because you will be confused like which one is deleted. Okay, so let me delete this permanently. So for deleting anything permanently, you just need to copy this, paste it down, and delete object. Cool team. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to upload an object. Click on upload, add file. Okay, I'm just going for downloads. I'm having downloads. Okay, so I'm just going for this. This is my one of the log file team, so I'm using this. Click on upload. Okay, so team, if I do upload, then there is not any purpose, right? So for that, I just need to show encryption. So for encryption, you just need to click here. Can you see here something called as properties? Click here in properties. So now team, I am just going to upload and I just want to have a server-side encryption. So for this, click here, specify an encryption key. Now team, I am having two options. Use bucket settings for default encryption or override bucket settings for default encryption. So I'm just selecting this and I want to show you three options. Team, first one is called as Amazon S3 manage keys. Team, what I showed you, okay? I already showed you manage keys here, right? Just let me show you one more time. Otherwise, you will be thinking that I am not showing you, okay? So just give me a minute. I'm just going. See, I've already shown you, right? This one. So this is AWS manage key. If you want to use by default AWS manage key, so you can go with this, right? But team, I have created my own, so I want to show you like how can you do. So you just need to select from here, choose from AWS KMS keys. So I am just going to select my key. So which one is my key? Okay, which one is my key? Just give me a second, team. Let me check. Then I'm having customer managed. Okay, so my key is ending with E92, so I just need to use this one, E92 key. Okay, I was having name also here, right? See, number key. So I have selected this. Now click on upload. Cool, team. See, upload succeeded. Okay, so team, now I'm just going to log in as a, okay, I'm just going to log in as a Sam, right? Just give me a second. I'm just going to go for Sam, right? Okay, so I'm just going to sign in as a Sam. So for this, go to dashboard, copy this. Okay, I'm having already, okay, I'm already having this. So just need to paste it here. So just give me a second, team. Now you just need to give your username here. So what was my username here? Just give me a second, team. I have to log in as Sam, right? So I'm just logging as Sam. Team, Sam is not having any permission, right? Nor neither Sam is key administrator, neither key user, right? In both I'm having John. So I'm just logging in as a Sam. Okay, username, password, sign in. Okay, now team, I'm going for S3, and I've already shown you that I have given permission to both of these, right? See, in IAM, Sam is having permission for S3, right? See, S3 full access, right? Now team, if I am just going from this, so I have, where is my that KMS demo bucket? Okay, so this is my the thing. Okay, now team, I'm just going to open it. See, you are getting an error. This XML file does not appear to have any style information associated with it, right team? So it means that you are not having any keys with you, right? So because of encryptions, this error was shown to you. Now I am just login as John. Okay, let me log in as a John. Okay, now tip select S3. See, so this was my log file. Okay, this is my log file, team. This is not an error. This is my log file. See, S3 console internal SDK Java, right? So this is was my log file. Okay, so team, by this way you can just encrypt your keys, like encrypt your data. You can protect your data in this way. Cool, team. Now, team, we are going to take something important, right? Now we are having important topics. Like these are also important, but now I'm just going to shoot with the all these things that you are waiting. Okay. So, team, now first thing I'm going to start with is called as AWS Shield. Okay. So first thing is that I'm going to explain you, team, is called as DOS and DDoS. So, team, what is DOS? Okay. So what is DOS? So, team, like DOS and DDoS is first the full form is denial of service, and for DDoS like distributed denial of service. So, team, what DOS and DDoS are? Like in like the primary goal of DOS and DDoS is to affect the availability, right? So it means that I'm having a website, and if someone is trying to hack it or access or break it, or if you're not able to do it, so what will happen? Like attackers now, what they used to do, they just try to bring that server or bring that system down. So how can they do it? So they are using something called as DOS and DDoS. Cool, team. So in DOS and DDoS, what they are doing, they are having, okay. So like for example, okay, so for example, this is my server, right? So this is my server, and what will happen in DOS or team? This is the attacker, right? This is attacker. So team, what attacker will do? Attacker will just flood with the lots of requests, and these requests can be anything. It can be whether UDP floods, SMP floods, SIM flood. There can be like lots of floods, and by this way, like if my server is not strong enough to serve all these requests, what will happen? I will be losing, like my servers will go down, and I will be losing my high availability. Cool, team. Now for this, we are having something called as shield. Okay, we are having something called as shield. Okay, so first of all, we are going to discuss about shield. So team, shield, first of all, it is completely managed by AWS. It is fully managed by AWS, so you don't have to you don't have to do anything. Okay, so you don't have to do anything, team. It is completely managed by AWS. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to just click here like subscribe to Shield Advanced. And team, I will recommend you never do this mistake. You have to pay this. Once you just step on this, you have to pay this amount, right? So what is the purpose of Shield? Just to manage DDoS protection service, right? So team, like first of all, like Shield comes in two variant, that is Shield Standard and Shield Standard and Shield Advanced. So it's team, like Shield Standard, we are having like it is a free service that is activated for every account. It means that if you are creating your account, Shield will be automatically activated. Then team, it provides protection against, like if you are going for standard, it will be just going for a form of attacks of sync or UDP, nothing else. Okay. Then team, if you wants to go for like advanced attacks, right? So like you wants to serve your easy to load balance, right? So you just need to go for standard, like sorry, for advanced. Okay, so for advanced you need to pay this much. Then team, those organizations that are the big face, or like the really big organizations are going to use this. Cool, team. So you have read correct. You need to pay this much. That's why I already told you, please don't click here. Okay. So team, like for standard, what will we be having? They will be not supporting you for much. They are just only having monitoring. But if you go for shield, they will be doing each and everything. Okay. Like attack analysis, detailed reporting, each and everything. So team, the most like the thing that attracted me is that you will be having like 24/7 team for AWS Shield, right? Like if there is like some like if you have if you have just enabled this service, there will be a proper team sitting in the back end, and you can contact them anytime, like 24/7 they will be available, right? So this is the thing that attracted me. Like if you just want high availability, then you can go for this service, right? Then team, right? So there is one more thing, team. Now, for example, when there is like DOS and DDoS attacks, okay, so what is happening in the cloud, right? So what will happen, team? If you have enabled auto scaling, okay, what is auto scaling? It means that if you are having lots of loads, like if you are having lots of requests, these server will be increased vertically, right? Like this way. These servers will be increased in this way. Cool team? In this way, right? Servers will be created. Now team, like for example, you have enabled shield. Now if you're having like lots of requests, like 2000 requests, what will happen? These will be just or these service will be added, right, as a part of auto scaling. Now team, what will happen? Like if auto scaling happens, you need to pay for it, right? But team, there is an advantage to go with AWS shield. So team, now we are just scaling all these things, right? So what will happen? Like all these things, when these all these will be scaled, you have to pay for it. But if you have enabled shield, then you don't have to pay for it. Okay, these all costs will be waived off. Okay, so it means that all these, you like for as a part of shield, you don't have to pay for all this auto scaling. Cool team. Then team, we are having something called as WAF. Okay, web application firewall. Okay, so team, WAF is a web application firewall, so it will be working on a application layer only. Okay, so team, this service will help you to just not only protect your like application layer, all these things, but this service will also help you from the common like web exploits. I will show you like what all web exploits. So team, like this service will help you out with the all these web exploits. So team, this layer will be working in application layer, and this web is attached to the this web can be attached to the like load balancer, application load balancer, API gateway, CloudFront, Cognitor user tools. Like you can attach with all these things. Cool team. So now team, I will show you like in WAF we are having something called as, okay, web access control list. Okay, so you need to create rules. Okay, in web we have something called as web ACL. Okay, what is web ACL? It is just a access control list. You are just creating a rules, and based out of the rules you are just mitigating different types of attacks. Like you are just mitigating, you can DOS DDoS as well from this. You can just mitigate SQL injection, cross site scripting, right? So you can just mitigate all these things. OAuth top 10. So you can just mitigate all these things using shield. So team, how can you create rule here? So create web SEL. You just need to give a name here. I'm just giving a name, any name. Okay, so if you are just going to with CloudFront, you just need to select CloudFront, just give a name. Okay, then description, anything you I'm just typing, then click on next. Team, here you just need to add rules. Okay, so there are like two types of rules. So first one is AWS managed rules, second one is AWS, like you can add your own rule or you can just make your own rule. So first I'm going to show you like managed rules. So team, first we are having AWS managed rules. So in this we are having like account takeover protection. You can enable this to just protect your account. Then if you want to save your things from bot control, you can just enable from here. Okay, like admin protection, NMS IP list, right? Okay, they are having like NMS IP list, so they will be blacklisting all these IPs. Cool team. Now after AWS managed rules, there are like third party. Okay, they are partners, so you can add rules from as well, like OSAP top 10, right? So you can just use all these rules, right? So by this way, you just I'm just canceling it. I will be just showing you how can you make your own rules as well. So just click here. Now team, there are like three options. If you either you can go for like IP based, or either you can go for rule builder. So I'm just going for rule builder. I'm just giving a name for this like name. Then team, either you can go for regular rule or you can go for like rate based rule. So I'm going for regular rule. So team, if my request matches the statement, so what will happen? Okay, so okay, so what will happen? Does not matches. So what will happen? From this country you can just block it, right? So by this way you can add all these things. Cool team. By this way you can add rules, and you can use in your CloudFront, API gateway, load balancer, application load balancer. Cool team. So this was web ACL. Then we have firewall manager. Team, firewall manager is nothing but it's if you are having lots of account, so you if you want to manage things centrally, then you can go for AWS firewall manager. Cool team. Then team, we are having something called as guard duty. team, this service is really important. Okay, so like someone was asking me like are we having like threat detection or like threat intelligence service. For this we are having something called as Amazon Guard Duty. Cool team. So we are having something called as Amazon Guard Duty. Okay, so let me open that service. Okay, so team, like what guard duty do, I will just tell you. So team, like guard duty is a threat detection service that continuously monitors your AWS account and workloads for malicious activity, and it will deliver you detailed security findings and visibility and remediation. It will give you everything. Cool team. So what this guard duty will do, it will just check your cloud trails logs, VPC flow logs, DNS flow logs, right? So and team, it's comes with a one click to enable like 30 days trial. Okay, so after that you have to pay for it. And team, guard duty is using something called as machine learning. So like we are using guard duty for this. Okay, so it's threat intelligence tool. Okay, it will be checking all your logs and it will be just giving you like what are the findings. So I am just showing you some findings. Okay, so right now I have disabled it. You can see that like re-enabled guard duty. If I enable it I have to pay for it. So team, I am just going to show you like sample findings, how you can have like sample findings here. Okay, so team, I am having a sample finding. Okay, so how can I do it sample finding? Like for sample finding team, uh, I'm just going to show you like sample finding, like how these things will be tracked and how you can see you all these things. Okay, so I'm just going to click here, findings. Okay, so team, like for example, okay, so I'm just picking someone. Okay, okay, so this I am user. Okay, so team, like for example, they have just find out like this API commonly used in reconnaissance attacks. Okay, and it was invoked from this IP address. Okay, that was like unauthorized actor performing. Okay, so team, and what you can do if you are just clicking here. Okay, you are just going for detective. Detective will give you like more things in detail. Cool team. Now, like unauthorized access, right? If you are just selecting this, it will give you like another way. Okay, just select this. Now team, API generated finding API name was invoked from a malicious IP address. Okay, like if you want to have like what is this, you can just see like what are the remediations, recommendations, all these things, right? So team, like this is the way you can do all these things using guard duty. So this is a threat detection. It will just show you all these things that is happening. If there is some malicious things, they will be just showing you, right team? Okay, so like if EC2 has like unprotected. Okay, just give me a second where it has gone. Okay, so this will be going for like port scan. Okay, so it will be just scanning port, right? Okay, EC2, this is performing outbound port scan against this remote. Okay, so this way they will be just showing you lots of findings. See, you were telling me about containers, right? So we are having like Kubernetes also, right? They are also doing for Kubernetes, right? If you are just enabling, they will be doing Kubernetes as well. Cool team. See, like unauthorized access. Okay, so all these things you can find here. Cool team. Now we have something to discuss that is called as inspector. Cool team. So what is inspector? So team, AWS inspector is just a vulnerability assessment tool. Okay, so team, like there are like three words. First of all, vulnerability, threat and risk. Okay, so like for example, there is a scenario. I have a Windows 10 computer based. Okay, and I am having that computer without password. So what are the vulnerabilities, threat and risk? So vulnerability will be like I am having no password. Okay, this is a weakness threat. Like they can be like unauthorized access risk, like my data privacy or data will be just make public, right? So these are the things that we are having. So team, like in organization where you are concerned about your security, we have to do something called as vulnerability assessment. Okay, so team, like for this we are having something called as CVE. Okay, so you can go here like in CVE. Okay, so team, like in CVE. Okay, so like team, in CVE we are having all these things, right? Like CVSS score. Okay, we are having CVSS score, and if you want to find any database, okay, this is a database of like common no like well-known vulnerabilities. So if I'm going for this, I'm just going for Apache. Okay, so I am just going to select 2022. Okay, then in that I'm having these kind of vulnerabilities. These are ignorable. Okay, Then if I go to page 1, see I am having this vulnerability, right? See, this is 10. Okay, this is like really high security. It means that attacker can get like authentication and gain admin privileges, right? So by this way, you are in a danger, right? So like this is like a CVE. CVE is just a common vulnerability exposure. It means that team, it's just a database of common well-known all these things, right? Vulnerabilities. Now, team, for this we are having something called as inspector, right? In AWS, we are having something called as inspector. So I'm just going to show you like what inspector do and what all things we can do. Okay. So team, like if you're working in organization, I'm just going to show you classic inspector for detailed version. Okay. So team, like if you want to create an assessment, you just need to click here, help create an assessment. They will be doing all these things, right? Then click here like advanced setup, cool team. Like in advanced setup, what all things you can do? See, first of all, you need to have like instances, and you just need to install agents. So you can do it by manually as well from here as well. So first of all, you need to install agent, and after that you will be able to do a vulnerability assessment. Team, so this service takes a lot of time. So what I have done, I have just created a logs for it. Okay, just let me see like if I'm having report. See, this is the report. So whenever you do any vulnerability assessment, see when I have done is like last Wednesday, and this is my vulnerability assessment report. Okay, so I'm just opening this, like I'm just going to the last one. Okay, so I'm just going from above, right? See, disabled root login over SSH. Okay, like this way we are having all this report. Okay, this is reachable from the internet, means I have just opened like RDP port, so they are just showing me this. See, my TCP port 80 is open, it's reachable from the internet. So all these things will be done in your account, and these will be shown as a list here, and you can take action according to that. Cool team. Then we have something called as Messi. Team, what is Messi? Messi is nothing but Messi like in your bucket. Like it is basically for AWS S3 bucket. Team, if you're having something in a S3 bucket, you just need to mention rules. Okay, you are just mentioning out the rules, and like based on the rules, and like they will be doing like all these things like machine learning and pattern matching to discover like protect all your sensitive data. So what Messi will be doing, team? Messi will be checking in your account like what all things. Okay, what all things, like if you don't, if you have any PII or what are all these things. Cool team. So I think this is done now.